Hey, welcome to this week's edition of Trinity in 20. Something, if you might not have been thinking about it, but these past 6 weeks here have been fairly intense youth and family ministry times. That we've had everything from first communions to confirmations to baccalaureate, but then youth choir went on a trip. Last week, I hope you saw the fact that we had our Shining Lights program, Shining Lights 2.0, which did art and drama and music and Vacation Bible School all mashed up into one big thing. But a couple of weeks ago, I was on vacation. I left and went to the beach, but now I'm back. But when I was gone this whole week for a youth mission week, and our kids and Amy Henderson-Hill, who is our Youth and Family Ministries Director, structured a whole week that talked about mission and ministry here in the place where we live. We didn't send kids off to do work at another place. We stayed here and talked about our life together here in our city, our life together with other people, and just engaged with the lives of kids, the lives of families, the lives of people here in our city. And so kind of as a follow-up here now, a couple of weeks after, I'm here with Amy, and she's here to talk a little bit about how that week went, what their experience was. It was a great week. First of all, to say it was a great week because, Amy, they didn't tie you to a tree.
I'm still here.
Yes. And, we like to kind of somewhat joke and say, you sent them all home alive. It was a successful week. But you did more than send them all home alive. I mean, from everything that I've heard, you just had a phenomenal week, phenomenal time, phenomenal growth for all of our kids and our families.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. I loved the week that we spent together. So in a nutshell, we started on Sunday morning and ended on Thursday night. So we started together at worship. We started at the liturgy and had a beautiful commissioning, and they had their t-shirts on, and we hit the ground running.
I saw a great picture. You sent me a great picture of all those kids.
Yeah. We had all of them standing in the front, and then I said, hold on, we got to flip around too, because the back of the t-shirt, Michaela, our creative director, put together these beautiful t-shirts. But what the words on the back it said, bloom where you are planted. And that, you have to order t-shirts a long time ago, and that has evolved, and that changed, and that grew. And I think there are so many things, we could be here for hours, there's so many stories and things that I could tell about the week that we spent together with these 17 teenagers. But there's one thing I want to say first, because it was the text that I found myself sending to my family or my friends who would check in, who weren't necessarily with us, and they would check in and say, hey, how are things going? And at the end of it, the text that I sent and meant, I said all the things, and it was wonderful and all of these things, but it said, I just hung out with 17 teenagers who changed the world. I'm sure of it. Because we spent our time here in this community, and we've been calling it, the other thing I want to say is we called it Youth Mission Week. And so one of the things that you helped me with, Pastor Erdis, and that we really worked on while we were together was the idea of what it means to be in mission and the idea of what it means to be together in service. And so we really focused on mission. We really talked about, well, first of all, what the difference is. But second of all, we this year were in a really unique place for our planning and for our time together because, as we emerge into this new phase, a different phase, emerge out of COVID times, I'm still pretty new and didn't know these kids that well yet. So all of these things put together, we said, all right, let's double down on who we are as a community. Let's build that foundation and let's spend time in mission, in community, in creativity, right? We look around and we say, hey, where are the young people and how do we engage the young people? And they are looking for those very things. They are looking for creativity, for imaginative thinking, for asking the questions that the church can ask and should ask, and the idea of being in community with one another and following that example of Jesus' life so that we can be active participants and feed into this bigger community of Trinity, of Fort Wayne, of our region, and on and on.
Yeah.
So it was a really beautiful time to learn a lot of things about ourselves, as well as how we can be in service to our community.
Yeah, I think, we talked a lot about, one of the things more recently we've kind of talked about here is that structure of Jesus' life.
Yes.
He spent 90% of his life being with people. 1% saving us, 9% working with us, teaching us, but this 90% being with, and I think, from what you've described and what you said, you spent a lot of time of being with, because it's only after we're with each other and with other people that we even have any knowledge or wisdom of
Yes.
how to do any of the rest of the stuff.
Yes, and we were with people. We walked everywhere. Except
rode the
for
bus.
the one time, I was going to
You
say,
rode the
there
bus.
was one place. We went to Miller's Mary Manor over on East State to spend time with residents, to interview them. We worked extensively with Joe Collins to learn about storytelling, story gathering, empathetic listening, diverse things. Who we are as children of God. But there was the one place where we couldn't walk. And so we rode CityLink. We walked down, Al Hofer came with us and had everything mapped out for us, and we walked down to the station and we bought our fare, and we got on the bus and rode it to Miller's Mary Manor,
But
and it was
one of
wonderful.
the things you said about that I just loved, didn't you say something? A couple of the kids said, "Can we talk to the people on the bus?"
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. We kind of gathered to the back, but I had a few kids who said, "Hey, is it all right if we sit up here and can we talk to people if they want to talk?" And yes, absolutely.
Well, that's the quintessential being with people. Yeah.
Being with, and going to Fryman Square and engaging with people at lunch on the square, or just walking to the landing for ice cream, or doing the different things that we did, and truly, in addition to the service. Yes, there were those service components, but what I really found beautiful and intentional with these kids as we build this foundation to move forward into new and different and deeper service is, let's practice being with each other, and loving and caring for each other as well, and learning each other's stories, because the goal is for this to be an open group and a welcoming group, but also a cohesive group, and one that knows each other well and loves each other well, in order to be able to have those open hands and to build upon what we started. So, yeah.
Now, to be completely fair, we started, we, in the broadest sense, you been planning this week since at least January. And there were a lot of turns and zigs and zags.
Yes.
I remember seeing your calendar at one point downstairs about, you had to...
We've adjusted, and we had to adjust again during the week. We were in the middle of a heat wave. We had a derecho come through, but some of those adjustments, and that's a huge testament to these kids and the environment that they want and are willing to contribute to and build, because the adjustments, we were supposed to be at Promenade Park for 3 hours with live music and food trucks and all the fun, but it was 98 actual degrees with an air quality warning, and so we pivoted and shifted, and I'm gonna throw it out there and say, I think for all of us, those 3 hours that we spent in the theater with a talent show, and in the youth center with Panda Express, and with the creativity and the faith discussion and the topics we talked about, I think those were some of the precious 3 hours that we ended up spending. So, but they were willing to do that. Nothing was a flop. That's what I keep saying. From my vantage point, there was nothing that somebody didn't just go for it, and these kids went for it. So they amazed me. They amazed me.
Now, we're sitting here upstairs in my office, and so I came back. I was gone. My vacation had already been scheduled. We were scheduled to be gone, as it happened in the weekly mission week, and I regretted being gone. Didn't miss being at the beach. Didn't regret being at the beach, but regretted being gone with you all. And I came back in here, and this was what I found. So
But I'm going to tell you now on camera for the first time that I didn't tell you before. I'm telling you, I brought them down from what they originally planned because they care about you and they missed you and they love you, but they wanted to show their love by stuffing your drawers with the things that you find inside beanbag chairs.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so I said, let's go with balloons. Let's just do balloons. So there you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you like the balloons.
So, what a great week. You know, and what a great testimony to our kids and our families, our parish church, and especially to Amy, to you, Amy, who put this together. And, you know, you need to have a heart for kids. You need to have a heart for mission, for being with these kids. And that's a distinct gift. And
thank you.
And I'm glad, I think all of us are glad that you're here with us to make that happen.
I am so glad to be here. And I would say, to leave us off, I would say if you ever feel down, if you ever worry, if you ever think, there goes the world, hang out with some teenagers and you'll feel a lot better. It's all gonna be okay. Because I just did, you know, a couple of weeks ago, 17 kids, and I thought, the world's fine, we've got this. God is doing amazing things in this world through these youth. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for making all of this possible and for being part of our work here at Trinity English. Have a great week.